do. Shout out. What's up? Drop a like on the stream. Like, call in, like, sub, call in. R.I.P. White House. Trump put that shit in the slammer. Trump said, no way, Jose. Trump said, F that noise. Oh, I don't want to have to do that, though. Is this showing up on the shorts feed, this stream? Or is it showing up on the regular stream feed? Is it showing up as a short right now? Because I don't like how it shows up as a short and as a not short, too. Something for treason. Treason for no reason. It is? Okay, cool. Nice. Trump, Trump, Trump. Hi, Feisty. It's portrait rather than landscape. Yeah, it should be portrait, right? It should be portrait. Yeah. That's fine.
Against.
Okay, cool. Let me go live on Instagram too. My Instagram is popping off. I don't know if you guys have noticed at all. If anybody's on Instagram. Is anybody on there? There's someone calling already? We didn't even get started yet, dude. We didn't even get started. I didn't even do a video. I didn't even do a reaction yet. Hello?
Hi,
Hi.
I'm Trevor.
Yeah. Cool. Okay, that was so cool. Anyways. We'll shut that off for now. 'Cause that's stupid. Alright. So Trump today... Dude. There is so much going on. So today Trump said that we are just going to start bombing boats. Not start, we've been. Oh, it's crazy. So we have murdered Venezuelan citizens, Colombian citizens, and a bunch of other people in their own territory and also international waters. And Trump here is going to say, basically, we don't care. We don't need Congress to say we're going to war with anybody. We're just going to keep on murdering people. And Trump's bragging about it. We're going to murder all the drug dealers. And by the way, 2 people survived these strikes Trump is doing. Okay, 2 people survived. And we returned them, the people that survived. These imminent threats to American sovereignty that we had to blow up with no due process. We had to murder them, okay? But if we can detain them, we're going to send them back because, you know, we can't prove any crimes. We're killing fishermen. And even if they were drug dealers, there's no reason for America to be extrajudicially just murdering people, other countries' citizens, randomly in the water.
If you are declaring war against these cartels and Congress is likely to approve of that process, why not just ask for a declaration of war?
Well, I don't think we're going to necessarily ask for a declaration of war. I think we're just going to kill people that are bringing drugs into our country. Okay? We're going to kill them. You know, they're going to be like dead.
Like, he is brain dead. He has the same IQ of a drooling Twitch streamer. He is... There's a puddle underneath him with how much drool is beneath him because how dumb he is, and he pisses his pants, okay? And we're talking about murdering people, by the way. Murdering people with no evidence of them being even criminals. That's super fun. There's more video, and do you know how senile he sounds? Oh, God. Trump Trump pardoned the Binance CEO as well. Did you guys see that? The super corrupt Binance CEO, and Trump profited off of it. The Binance founder, he was in jail for, I believe, some type of fraud, and Trump pardoned him.
Recommended by a lot of people. A lot of people say that, are you talking about the crypto person? A lot of people say that he wasn't guilty of anything. He served 4 months in jail, and they say that he was not guilty of anything, that what he did, well, you don't know much about crypto. You know nothing about nothing, you fake news.
He pled guilty to money laundering, by the way, in 2023. You fake news, you don't know anything. I'm sorry, if you listen to this and believe Trump, you're stupid. You're a dumbass, bro. Like, you gotta wake up. You gotta wake up. You can say I'm being lied to and just, like, say it's okay because you hate Democrats, but if you believe this, bro, chill.
Let me just tell you that he was somebody that, as I was told, I don't know him. I don't believe I've ever met him. But I've been told by a lot of support. He had a lot of support. And they said that what he did is not even a crime. It wasn't a crime, that he was persecuted by the Biden administration. And so I gave him a pardon at the request of a lot of very good people.
Very good people. In other words, the wealthiest people of all time giving Trump money directly for this person's freedom. And I'm sure Trump profited from Binance skyrocketing today in share value. Here is Steve Bannon talking about Trump getting a third term. And after 2020, Trump trying to coup the government then, and his successful coup, winning again, pretty much, never being tried for the crimes of trying to illegally overturn the 2020 election with zero proof of fraud. We know they want to steal elections. We know they're not going to leave office ever. They're not going to leave office. The cult of Trump will keep him there, or his close allies there. And Steve Bannon here, a very powerful person in MAGA world, is again, for another time, talking about Trump serving a third term. Now, what they're gonna do is say, "Oh, it's a joke, it's comedy." Trump says things all the time because Trump is too brain dead to take him at his word. So they're gonna say, "Oh, it's a big joke." Trump is just like, they're all joshing you, bro. They're kidding, as they actually plan to subvert our electoral processes and our constitution.
Well, he's going to get a third term. So Trump 28, Trump is going to be president in 28, and people just ought to get accommodated with that.
So what about the 22nd Amendment?
There's many different alternatives. At the appropriate time, we'll lay out what the plan is, but there's a plan, and President Trump will be the president in 28. We had longer odds in 16 and longer odds in 24 than we got in 28. And President Trump will be the president of the United States.
Well, yeah, now Trump controls every media channel in the world. He controls TikTok. He controls Fox News is the biggest by far. He controls all the media. He controls the military. He controls the FBI. He controls all of our intelligence agencies. He controls every aspect of power in America, all of big tech, all of it. So when it comes to his 2020 attempt to subvert democracy and to steal the 2020 election, he failed largely because he did not have those on his side. But now he has not only the government, but also these militia members that he released into the public, these January 6ers, like the one January 6er Trump pardoned who threatened to kill Hakeem Jeffries, Democratic leader of the House. Not a big fan of Hakeem Jeffries, okay? He's a pretty boring guy, and this January 6er is so crazy. He's, for some reason, wanted to target Hakeem Jeffries, okay? He's a boring, like, if you're going to target Hakeem Jeffries, you're next level crazy with how boring Hakeem Jeffries is. I'm just saying. But yeah, those are the January 6ers, the militias, the armed militias outside of the government that Trump also has control of. And yeah, so the 2028 chances are higher than 2020 was when it comes to subverting democracy.
And the country needs him to be president of the United States. We have to finish what we started. And the way we finish it through Trump. Trump is a vehicle. I know this will drive you guys crazy, but he's a vehicle of divine providence. He's an instrument. He's very imperfect. He's not churchy, not particularly religious, but he's an instrument of divine will. And you can tell this of how he's pulled this off.
This is how Christians can pretty much make anything work for them. Not Christians, I'm sorry, fundamentalist, authoritarian Christian nationalists who want to dominate every other group of people in America who is not in their culture, whatever their group is, their demographic that they like. They want to dominate every aspect of society. They want to control all media. They want to control all government. They want to control all finances. They want to control pretty much everything, every aspect of American society. Project 2025 is all about this. Russell Vogt, the Office of Management and Budget Director, the crazy Project 2025 guy, the guy who's in charge of that Brandon Carr guy who tried cutting Jimmy Kimmel off air. If you think about all these different people, they are a part of this big Christian nationalist program. Pete Hegseth, it's an authoritarian plan for a takeover of America. And they will say, well, God gave Trump, although imperfect, God gave Trump the power. There's someone in the Bible, it's like Samson or something, where he is like a bad follower of Christ, but he's instrumental in God's will being orchestrated in the world. So they compare Trump to people like that. Well, he's not perfect. He may represent every one of the deadly sins, but that's intentional because God uses people in mysterious ways. They will justify it. They will justify it. It doesn't matter if Trump defends Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell and pardons P. Diddy and loves prostitutes and loves pretty much every gluttonous form of he loves torture, he loves murder, he loves all these, he loves everything. He loves everything that is supposed to be evil when it comes to pretty much every culture's doctrine, when it comes to the primary religions. But they will still hold him as a messiah or as a prophet or as a leader, as a spiritual sword for them to enact their vision for the future of America.
We need him for at least one more term, right? And he'll get that in 28.
You're not driving me crazy. I'm really I'm trying to understand the coherence of the things you've just
I want to
told me in
understand
the
how
last
brain
2
dead
minutes.
you
On
are,
the one hand, you've said
Stevie.
the Constitution is fit for purpose. Secondly, you've said that President Trump needs another term, even though the 22nd Amendment makes pretty clear that he cannot have another term.
Why does it make that clear?
Because he's on his second term already.
At some point in time, we will make sure we go through Zanny and define all those terms.
But even if
We
you
will
find
define
a
all
way
those
to
terms.
undermine you will be undermining the spirit of that amendment, even if you find some way around it. And to those people.
Do you think they care about the spirit of any amendment? Do you think they care about any laws or anything? The Constitution, all the words in that document only matter if people care about it, if people agree to keep reinforcing those words in that document. If people just stop caring about those values and about those and about the system we have in place to protect freedoms and democracy and all this stuff in America, if people simply put their take their hands off the wheel and let AI drive, anything can happen. If AI is going to take care of our critical thinking for us, anything can happen. They can just make shit up. They can keep it through some type of violence, through mass propaganda. They can do so many things. And I don't think the opposition party of the Democrats in its current form is ready to combat that.
If the American people, with the mechanisms we have, put Trump back in office, are the American people tearing up the Constitution? Would that be tearing up?
Well,
Would the American people be going against the spirit of the Constitution, ma'am?
I think yes, actually, because I think what you will end up with
So you're
is
saying the
a
American people-
populist justification for.
Okay, so Steve Bannon here, the guy to being a populist, he's going to say, you're saying the people are dumb. Well, the people want Trump to stay in power. Don't say the people are dumb. The people, populism. Oh, they're on our side. We're representing them.
For a quasi-dictatorship.
That's not true at all.
How dare you say they're
That's what
dumb?
it sounds like.
It's not. Trump is a dictatorship. Did you
A
just see the
populi-
compromises he had to make on the big
populist?
beautiful bill? You see the compromises he has to do on everything.
What compromises?
accommodating,
On what?
Zelensky, on what President Trump. President
Wait,
Trump
on Zelensky? Oh, can you make one coherent point?
is nothing but a series of negotiations
piece of trash.
to kind of keep this thing rolling forward, where he's having trade-offs all the time.
But
How
Steve,
can
you've just spent the last 20 minutes telling me we have to smash the other side. There's no room for debate. There's no room for compromise. We must smash them. And now you're telling me this is a negotiation. I mean, that's
No.
I guess that's why
on
it
his
seems to me some
his
kind of
policy.
tension
First
there.
off, the only way President Trump wins in 2028 and continues to stay in office is by the will of the American people. Okay? And the will of the American people is what the Constitution embodies. And so
It's like that one thing that
we're going to be in good hands there. We need to finish what we started.
pretty much what they're saying is they will keep power and just claim people want them to keep power. Just like Trump says he has a 70% approval rating or 90% approval rating, just like all these authoritarian types do. Did you guys see that Trump completely demolished the East Wing of the White House? It's completely gone for his crypto ball. He literally just got rid of the entire thing. It's actually kind of shocking. because they did lie about this. They said it would not be touched. So here's the before picture of the White House. Here's the East Wing right here. It was built in 1942, I believe, for FDR and his bomb shelter during the war, and also for the First Lady's office and the First Lady's staff and a few other purposes. So this is before and this is after. So it's completely gone. And Trump initially said it would not be touched at all, not once, not even a little bit. But not only is the building gone, but the connector is gone as well. Now, their argument is they're going to modernize it and repurpose it and make a ballroom connected to another office building, which is going to be another lie. But private money, so-called private money from Amazon and Bezos and Musk and Peter Thiel and all these different companies, private money's paying for this new ballroom. And people are like, it's not going to cost the taxpayers anything. They are literally buying the White House. We want taxpayer dollars to be involved in public goods, okay? We do not want a system where the ultra-wealthy can buy anything in our government, okay? We want to fund things through taxpayer dollars managed by Congress. Trump did not consult anybody for this. The fact he can just do this without Congress is crazy. I don't know if it's legal or not. I'm not sure. But like, we don't want to live in a society where we can say, well, private businesses are buying it. Dude, they will buy everything from us. They will buy our freedoms. They will buy our government buildings. They will buy our roadways. They'll buy our roads and make us pay a toll. They'll buy this historical section of the White House and just tear it down and make a ballroom so they can come bring Trump a bunch of gold plaques to give fealty to the king. They will do that. They will tear apart this country and sell it off for scraps. And these closeted gay Republicans need to say such dumb stuff in response, okay? They need to just like make up the dumbest excuses.
What about just uprooting the, this is an iconic building?
Manu, I will just say this. I made this point yesterday that
He's gay. I'm sorry.
What about just uprooting the, this is an iconic building?
Manu, I will just say this. I made this point yesterday that I hear all of a sudden from my liberal friends that they're very concerned about our history. Really, these are the same people who tore down every statue they could get their hands on in the last 4 years. Christopher Columbus, Thomas Jefferson, Theodore Roosevelt. They didn't have any concern for history then. Now all of a sudden,
where did Theodore Roosevelt get torn down? Where did Theodore Roosevelt get torn down, bro? Where did Roosevelt get torn down? Show me.
What about just...
It's like, it's funny too, because we're talking about Trump demolishing 1/3 of the White House, right? And the response is, well, the left wanted to get rid of Christopher Columbus, who did nothing for America, by the way. He's not an American. He's a foreigner who did nothing for this country. He was never even here. And we took down Confederate statues. Not even we, like activists in some cities in America. The Democratic Party did not really care about that much as a party. But yeah, certain cities did. The parties in those cities did. It's not a national platform. But still, we're talking about removing Confederate statues, traitors, who were also not Americans, okay? Confederates were not Americans. Taking down their statues, okay? I think that's a okay position. Let's take down the enemy's statues in America. Now, I don't care that much, but you can have that position. Their position is, it doesn't matter if we just destroy 1/3 of the White House. So think about that. We're pro taking down the Confederacy, all right? We're pro taking down Columbus, who didn't do shit for this country whatsoever, all right? And they're pro destroying 1/3 of the White House and replacing it with a crypto ballroom for the wealthiest people in society to go get favors from the president. Like, is that a comparison we really want to do? You're pro-Confederate. You want to protect them. We want to protect the White House and the public goods of the American people. Is that really the debate you want to have here? Please drop a like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you for watching. How's it going, guys, in chat? I just looked at chat for the first time today. 300 viewers, 33 likes. If I get 50 likes, I'll take some calls. Thank you for watching. I'll look at the toxic Trump supporters in my chat on YouTube Shorts. Really appreciate it. Really cool. But yeah, if you're watching back on YouTube, please drop a like, comment, and subscribe. Please consider dropping a donation to Joel Politics on Cash App, PayPal, or Venmo. Cash App or Venmo, or on Coffee/Joel Politics. All that kind of stuff. Look in the description for our Discord. The Russians are aroused tonight. Chuck Schumer. Is that a Chuck Schumer reference? Let's see if my timeline gives us anything.
Let me just say, Mr. President, that this... Let me just say, Mr. President, that this...
Oh, he's gonna deep throat it. He's about to take it all, bro. He's about to, dude, I'm telling you, he's gonna say, Mr. President, isn't it true that you are the best president in American history, and I am a Nazi?
This country was going to die without you. This country,
Bro, this country was gonna die without you. Bro, get a room. Holy shit, get a room, bro. Get a damn room. Your lips are gonna be painted orange.
is going to actually die without you. That's
It was
what
actually,
we're facing.
he literally says it was actually gonna die without you. It was gonna die without you. It was gonna die without you.
Going to actually die without you.
Wow.
That's what we were facing in 2024. We've been invaded
Yes.
for 4 years. Our communities
were
were
invaded.
sinking. Our public safety had gone to zero. Cartels are running entire communities.
Yes, yes, dude. I've talked to hundreds of Republicans and Trump voters on my channel, Drolla Politics. None of them have ever been able to give me an example of this. They bring up the same examples from the New York apartments, from Lake and Riley, from Colorado apartments, or New York hotels, whatever. They use the same exact examples because they don't personally deal with this whatsoever. They just see it on the internet and get mad about it.
Sex trafficking, child trafficking, labor trafficking was that.
We shut down our units going after child trafficking and labor trafficking and drug trafficking to go after people at Home Depot who might be here without documentation so they can get high score numbers for their ESPN, Score Center, Sports Center, top 10, right? So they're not even going after criminals. They're going after daycares and elementary schools for a reason.
Out of control. Overdoses were out of control. The cartels were claiming more and more territory. City services were buckling.
We were under attack, dude.
This was a country
We were
on the verge
losing
of
ground.
dying.
We almost lost all of California. Holy shit. Sir.
Buckling. This was a country on the verge of dying. And you alone saved
It was going to
when you
die. Holy shit. Imagine being this dramatic. Like, I'll talk about people losing healthcare, which is a real thing, or benefits being cut from veterans, which is a real thing, or us murdering people in random fishing boats. That's a real thing. I'll talk about these abuses of Trump suing the government and paying himself $240 million of taxpayer dollars. I'll talk about real stuff. And they're like, we literally almost died as a country. We got invaded. Like, grow the hell up. What the hell? You're 12. It's crazy. The dark plan for MAGA to stay 15,000 years in the White House. Someone called my stream. Someone called me.
Hello?
Hello, this is the YouTube channel. What's up?
Hey, this is Aaron. What's up, Jola? It's good to hear from you again. I got
Good to
a
hear from
question.
you.
It's a little more it's more of a futuristic type of question.
Futuristic, that's
Trump's,
fun.
yeah, not like sci-fi, but like when Trump's out of office, what do you think is gonna be like the post-Trump America? Like, how is the Republican and Democrat Party gonna look after? Do you think it's gonna get more like closer to each other, or they're just gonna keep drifting apart, or?
I don't know. I mean, a reporter was asking the White House press secretary a week ago about why Budapest was chosen for a meeting with Russia and America about Ukraine, and the White House press secretary responded with, "Your mom did," to who chose this location. She said, "Your mom did." During the No Kings protest, Trump put up AI videos of him in a jet, which he could never fit in a jet, let alone take it off the ground, because he's too heavy and he was never skilled enough in life to do anything like that. Maybe if there were children inside with Epstein, he could take off in that jet. But like he has a video of that jet dropping shit on half of America. He said to the military that Democrats are gnats. We need to take care of, directly to the military. So we need Republicans to grow the hell up, stop being 12-year-olds, and learn how to be real Americans who care about this country, care about this country's lineage, and actually want to work with their neighbors on a better world. And I think most Republicans do, but they need their daddy cult leader to tell them to stand down and to actually talk to one another. Because I don't know what the hell we can do to come back from that kind of behavior from the White House.
So you think that it's just going to stay on the trend of getting more separate until further notice?
Yeah, until the Republicans stop doing what they're doing. I mean, you could have disagreements and you could make arguments that there's like factions of the left who are disagreeable, but if there's 5% of the left that's very far left, and they barely vote Democrat, and the rest of the party is begging to be bipartisan all the time, and then we have the Republicans who literally call Democrats gnats to the military and say we got to take care of them, and we're declaring war on Democratic cities, and we're using Democratic cities as training grounds for the military. Republicans need to come back to the table of caring about this country. I don't know. Every conversation I have with a Republican is brain dead. It's literally, it's so I can't do my channel some days because the conversations are purely illogical. Or I mean, most of the time there's nothing to them other than just like anger and slogans. It's really not good.
Yeah, because I don't like to affiliate with a party, but I am Republican registered. I like to see myself as more conservative, but I do wish that we could have more of a conversation that's not just yelling and everything. Like, dude, I used to love it. I'm not gonna lie. Like growing up, I used to love the debates, the arguments, the fighting. Like just a few years ago, I would have loved to call you a name or two, but now I'm kind of like, this getting old. And if we don't figure out how to work together, at least to talk, then it's gonna end up being really, really bad, worse than what is going on now.
I just don't know how we ever do that. And by the way, I know conservatives, especially in local politics, who are not these authoritarian dipshits in the Oval Office taking, like, Trump literally is going to pay himself $240 million in our taxpayer dollars because he's suing the government because he's claiming wrongful treatment from the DOJ, and his own personal attorney, which is now like the assistant attorney general or something, is going to approve the money going to Trump from taxpayer dollars. Like, I don't know what to do in an environment where the president has this conduct and a party can't call them out. If Joe Biden did that shit, I'd be in front of the White House screaming my ass off to impeach him. But Trump can just scam billions of dollars out of the White House this year. Like, he's putting Nancy Pelosi. Nancy Pelosi would have had to live 1,000 lifetimes to even equal Trump's 1 year of corruption and how much money he made. And it's just like, I don't know. The standards are so all over the place right now, man. But I know, like I said, I know conservatives at the local level who just have different opinions on government. But these people in the White House right now are talking about just staying for a third term, just not caring about the Constitution, not caring about our service members, not caring about all this stuff that even like they call Ronald Reagan a liberal cuck now because Ronald Reagan looked at immigrants as human beings. You know, like even Ronald Reagan is a liberal to them now. They're going so far right.
That's interesting because I've always heard that, and I was not around for it, but I always heard people say that Ronald Reagan was like the conservative icon.
Yeah, exactly. But the fact, like Ronald Reagan pushed for amnesty for immigrants. He called America like the shining whatever on the hill or whatever. And like we were the place, the destination that would be able to invite people in, no matter how they got here, and treat them with kindness and dignity. And they were real Christians caring about like rights and values coming from God. And now these people claim Christianity and they say all rights come just from the government and it doesn't matter how we treat people at all. And it's just like, yeah, I don't know. Ronald Reagan would be laughed at today. And all the Republicans that are like Ronald Reagan today are never Trump Republicans. And I'm not saying Democrats are amazing, but that doesn't mean, Trump needs to have a cult. And he's protecting Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell, and he wants to pardon P. Diddy now. It's just so laughably terrible. I don't know what to say anymore to some people.
Like, okay, so I'm gonna ask you, what do you think when it comes to Vance, like JD Vance? Do you think he's just as bad? Do you think he's not much better? Like, what do you think, honestly?
So JD Vance's entire career was funded by Peter Thiel, who partly owns Palantir, which is currently trying to set up a database to surveil all Americans for the rest of time. They're infringing upon all of our rights right now. It's like the Patriot Act times 5 million when it comes to surveillance. And yeah, JD Vance was manufactured by people like Peter Thiel, Elon Musk. So he's very dangerous and he plays dumb. I saw him on Theo Von, and Theo was asking JD Vance about Palantir because Theo was not comfortable with the mass surveillance programs they plan for all American citizens. Because how can they find all the illegals if they don't track all of us and all of our faces and all of our history on everywhere, basically? And JD Vance is like, yeah, man, I don't know much about that. It's like, JD Vance, you are literally funded by the person who's doing this. Like, you are here because you support his mission. So I think when it comes to ideology, JD Vance is more dangerous because he wants a future. And I would definitely recommend Googling Palantir and Peter Thiel and JD Vance's ties there. But I think JD Vance wants an authoritarian future in America. He believes it as a model ideologically. I think Trump is just like a ego-obsessed, power-hungry person who wants more power. I don't think he really has a ideological concern with making America more authoritarian. He likes pushing a button and seeing things happen that he likes.
Yeah, because to me, I haven't looked that deep into Vance, but I like the way that he talked. I like the more young approach to the party. I feel like he's better well spoken than Trump was, and I think all the polls of all the potential politicians for 2028, most likely they indicate that Vance would be the next president. I don't know how accurate that is now, but I'm not sure. I gotta think about it because, like, even people on the super far right that are not as right as I mean, they're more right than I am. Like, even like Nick Fuentes and some people are like, watch out for Vance. I'm like, where's this coming from?
Yeah, just Google Palantir and JD Vance and Peter Thiel, and you'll see all this stuff about him that's really scary. And like, as much as I don't know, it just they can go sound good on podcasts, and that's the big part about this is people vote on vibes, and like Kamala Harris had terrible vibes. I don't like her vibes. I think there's she sounds pretentious in some areas. I think she sounds like a terrible speaker. Now, when they talked about policies, Trump said, I have concepts of a plan for healthcare, and Kamala said she wants to expand like Medicare and Medicaid and cover at-home care and lower prescription drug costs and a bunch of other stuff, and Trump had nothing at all. But since Trump and Vance can go on podcasts and sound more chill, they win the vibes race. And if you win the vibes race, there's a good chance you're going to win the election. So Democrats need to be able to put people out there who actually can vibe and who actually can present as good. But it is scary too, because politicians, I'd say 90% of them do probably lie most of the time. And JD Vance is trained to sound convincing to you, and his ideology, although he may talk in a way that sounds good. It's like I said before. If you go watch that Theo Von, and Theo Von even referenced this, he's like, JD Vance was lying to my face. Like he knew it. And JD Vance talked very convincingly. And if you didn't Google Palantir and Peter Thiel, you know what I mean? Like, you wouldn't know JD Vance is lying because I agree he's a much better speaker. But you definitely got to be wary of these snake oil salesmen.
So I could just get your perspective. If you had no choice, like, you have to do it. Like, it's a serious, like, what if you had to vote Trump, let's say,
or
when he was first starting, or vote Vance, who would you vote?
I think I'd probably vote for JD Vance, probably just because I think Trump, something about him, no one takes anything seriously because he's kind of stupid sounding. So like when he just like kills random people in the ocean and murders them and says, I just want to kill more, people don't really take it seriously for whatever reason. They say he's joking, he's a good performer. I think JD Vance seems really stiff. He's not as good at playing performer. He can't do the whole like,
I feel like
it's people versus the elites kind of thing. So maybe JD, yeah, it's hard to say.
I felt like DeSantis was more stiff for me, in my opinion, than Vance.
I agree with that. But remember, do you remember, I just thought about this. Did you see how JD Vance called Donald Trump Hitler like a couple of years before endorsing him?
Yeah, I do remember that.
That's how,
or he said something like that.
Yeah. That's the guy he is. He'll change his mind in a second's notice based on what's politically expedient. Like, I'd say that's a bigger U-turn than anything, even like a Democrat. Like, that's bigger. Like, Kamala made a lot of U-turns on things like fracking, for example, but nothing as big as calling someone Hitler and then a couple years later becoming their vice president. That seems like a huge change. And RFK did too. Yeah. RFK called him Hitler too.
I hadn't heard that one about RFK, but I thought that it was fine with JD Vance because of one thing, and I don't know your thoughts on this, because I thought that Trump and the Republican Party, like at the RNC, were trying to make we could get people that disagree with us to join us type of vibe. That's why they had people like RFK that didn't used to like him, Tulsi Gabbard that didn't really originally side with that party, and then have people like I don't know if I just said RFK twice, or like JD Vance, or a lot of voters were sick and tired of Democrats and they wanted to go with Trump because not necessarily they're alt-right or they're super right, but they were just sick of the other side. It was like a reflection of anger, which, by the way, most of those people have switched back to the other aisle anyway.
I'll tell you, before we hop off here, I appreciate the call too. I work in politics a little bit. And one big thing about ad spending this election, Trump spent virtually $0 on positive ads about himself. He spent 100% making his opponents look terrible. So Trump's whole strategy was, I'm not going to be the good guy in this situation. I'm going to make the other guy look like the biggest douchebag in the world. So they definitely do that on purpose as a political strategy. Which is something to be definitely wary about. And also Tulsi Gabbard, I would be like all these people. RFK did this too. Tulsi did this. In a 4 or 5 year span, Tulsi Gabbard endorsed Bernie Sanders as a Democratic socialist. Then she endorsed Biden over Bernie Sanders in 2020. Then she endorsed Donald Trump. So she was just jumping around all over the place until she could find a politician that would give her something in return for her loyalty, to give her a position of power in some administration. It doesn't matter if it was far left, centrist, or far right. She all these people. You could find moments where they called Trump a Nazi or Hitler, and then they changed their mind on him. Then they said he's questionable. Then they said he's God himself. He's Jesus, like he's a prophet. So you can find histories of all these people being slimy and changing their views a lot.
Interesting. Well, I'm gonna definitely look into that stuff. Yeah, I'm not gonna be hopping on to cuss you out or cuss anybody out. I'm just trying to listen. But there are certain conservative values I can't see myself letting go. But hey, I appreciate the conversation, and it's better to talk like this than to just not talk to each other at all.
Yeah, definitely. Hey, if you think of 3 main topics and you want to call back in a few days, we could talk about some disagreements. But yeah, I appreciate the call.
Yep.
All right, have a good night, man. All right, good call. Please drop a like, comment, subscribe. Thank you for watching. Joel Politics. Thank you for watching. Those are good conversations. Just asking questions and trying to understand someone else's perspective. I think that's how you really change people's minds. Debating is kind of stupid. It really is kind of dumb, but it's okay. 470 number. I'll take you next. Thank you for $5. By the way, on Venmo, I saw someone donated $5. Let me check really quick who that was. Please subscribe to the channel. Join Discord. L for $5. Thank you, L. Did you say anything? In honor of the Russian bots. Thank you. Shout out all the Russian bots in chat. And also, all the jewels. There's a lot of jewels down there I see in the chat. Damn. Thank you.
Hello?
Hello, this is the Joel of Politics. Who am I speaking with?
This is Drake.
All right, awesome.
From Georgia.
Thank you for calling. What do you want to chat about?
Well, I was watching the stream for about 10 minutes now. I haven't been watching very long.
Okay.
And I was just wondering, or not really wondering, but I was thinking about the results that we've seen in the past 2 years, just the results. You know what I mean? I know in my state alone, gas prices have gone down over 30 cents a gallon. I'm just a blue collar worker, you know. It's hard for people around here to maintain jobs at a decent pay when other people, I guess you can call them illegal immigrants. I don't have a problem with any illegal immigrants. If you pay your taxes, that's awesome. You should have a chance to be in this country. That's beautiful. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I personally witness on a day-to-day basis. I know for a fact there's a few Hondurans that don't have any paperwork. You know what I mean? And then I know other people that want jobs that are legal Americans that have families that can't get these jobs because they're already taken. And another thing is, I've been looking into how the governor of New York decided wants to remove advanced classes in school. And here in the state of Georgia, they have taken away disabled classes in school, which I can understand, but I personally know a child that has a problem with bowel movements, mainly on himself. Now, the fact that there's no more special treatment classes, so to speak, he gets picked on a day-to-day basis. You know what I mean? By common ground students, children. I don't believe that in any shape, way, or form is proper. You know, these children that are in advanced classes, me myself, I've skipped a couple grades, you know, and the grades that I wasn't noticed, I acted out in class. You know.
Sure.
I don't know how to.
Yeah, so like when it comes to education and picking up members of our community, that's a big issue I have with local Republicans right now because they want to basically drain the school's funding, like the local public school, and cut taxes to a very untenable level, like extremely low. And they're cutting after school programs, which is really bad because kids then go out and, you know, get into bad things instead of good things. And that's bad for everybody involved. And I don't have any kids currently, but I'd pay more taxes to make sure that kids in my community have after school classes, you know, especially if they have bad homes. And what you're saying about services for disabilities, those are being cut as well. And there's a big thing right now where people want to live in their houses and in like a suburb and not be a part of a community where we lift each other up. Or even view each other as neighbors anymore. And I think that's an issue. And we used to have a system where Republicans and Democrats had real debates on taxes and funding and where money should go. And they had the same goal in mind, which was supporting each other and helping the kids. But maybe they thought we'll cut taxes here or increase them or move funding, you know, from the band to the, you know, football team, which always happened, and a bunch of other different disagreements. But now many people are ideologically against government doing anything. So even if it's a good service, like for that, they're looking to cut that because they're principally ideologically against it. Even if it's bad for the community, they'll keep on doing it. And I'm seeing issues like that happen where I am.
There is also many statistics where I can't remember where I've seen them, to be completely honest. So correct me if I'm wrong. Where many of these schools fraudulentize their documents to get more funding from the government, mainly through test scores or saying certain children passed or they did this or they did that. So I can understand why certain things may be cut or may be questioned. You know what I mean?
It's usually property taxes, though. So if there was any type of fraud, we can look into that, which I haven't really seen many stories of that. But the big debate is usually people want to pay less property taxes usually.
Well, so I'm 24, so I just got out of high school a couple of years ago. And from when I was in middle school to when I went to high school, mainly during the Obama administration, I noticed a change in the food, first off. Okay. Second off, I noticed a change in how the teachers treated the students. It was no longer a work-based environment. It was a test-based environment. The teachers no longer really worried about being on one-on-one with the students. It was all based upon scores. And, you know,
yeah, that was more of a George Bush kind of thing. Like No Child Left Behind. Yeah, and standardized testing. I'm pretty sure that was bipartisan, and now they're moving away from it, especially with like AI and everything. I can look that up at some point. But I'm pretty sure.
I remember seeing a video of Michelle Obama on my TV screen in the schoolhouse right after I did the Pledge of Allegiance, when it was a requirement for every student to stand. You know what I mean?
Let me see here. Yeah, so George Bush, so LBJ in 1965, there was something called the Elementary and Secondary Education Act, and that established standardized testing at the national level, so more of a recommendation thing. And then President Bush, No Child Left Behind, made it mandatory. So for states to receive federal funding, they would need to have standardized testing and report that back to the government. So that was a Republican policy that did that. And I will say too, if there's anything with curriculum or how schools manage, that is 99% going to be done by local governments and state governments. So the president does not have that much influence, other than if they use federal funding as leverage to do something like Bush did.
Okay. Like that's why I called, because I just want to ask questions and kind of just talk about it.
Yeah, it's
There's not much
complicated stuff. I don't blame people for not knowing things about this. I don't blame people. I do blame people if they come out just talking out their ass and they're like, I know how this whole game works and all that kind of stuff. Like sometimes there's easy answers, but most of the time there's not. So I mean, I'm open to having any of those discussions. And my main thing right now, I'm 25, and the community falling apart right now is really scary for me. I want to live in a community where someone would care about my kids, or I can care about someone else's kids being safe.
I'm 24 and I just have my third child.
Okay.
And so my oldest is 4 years old. He goes to school next year.
Mm-hmm.
And we're on this thing about the vaccines, and the vaccines really only came out 40 or not even really 50 years ago, as a widespread thing. And I've been doing my research on it, and a lot of these vaccines have methyl mercury in it and polyethylene glycol.
Now, I'll stop you right there, because mercury was not used in vaccines, or it has not been used for like 25 years, I'm pretty sure. It's not included in any vaccines today. Neither is the other substance. I hear this often, but if you look up the actual ingredients, and I would definitely recommend talking to a doctor about this and not just looking on the internet, because a lot of people just say shit on the internet, but people that go to school for 7 years in real life,
Office. That's what I'm saying. Like, I just took my children to their checkup day before yesterday, and I asked the same question that I just asked you, and they couldn't give me a straightforward answer.
Yeah, I mean, questions are complicated. So, like, for example, if you ask a doctor or a drug company about side effects of a vaccine or of a pharmaceutical product at all, they need to tell you there's a chance of a side effect, there's a high percentage or there's a low percentage. It doesn't matter how likely something is. They got to tell you those issues. So they can't just say definitively, yeah, this is 100% safe all the time. But I will say that compared to vaccines, things like red meat are much more dangerous for a kid to eat often. Red meat's more dangerous for a kid to eat often.
Yeah, for children, I can understand that because their digestive system can't quite process that.
Well, no, even for you, for heart disease, red meat is much more dangerous than a vaccine ever would be. But if it's not a medicine, so when you buy red meat, there's nothing on the package that says could cause heart disease. Or alcohol. Alcohol is one of the top killers in America. Alcohol and sugar kill more people in America than anything else combined.
I will agree with you on that.
Yeah.
Sugar is one of the worst. I don't eat candy at all, except unless it's dark chocolate. Sugar is one of the worst things for you you can even obtain in your body. So as the same with red 40 and yellow 5, there's a reason why all the other countries that have government health care don't have that in their food. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and so like we see these vaccines around for like 50 years. Have you ever seen a graph of like measles before and after the vaccine, like how often kids had measles?
I just looked into that the other day, and I looked at the measles and the chicken pox and Rosella, and there's another one. I can't remember the name of it.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I did look into it, and there was a drastic difference in the disease rates. But as I was looking into it, especially with the chicken pox, it was, they took it off of the registry for a major disease in 1981, and then in 1995 they came out with the chicken pox vaccine. And yeah, that decreased the amount it was spreading, but at that point it was just considered as a common cold. Considering it took 14 years to create the vaccine for something that was considered no longer dangerous.
I'm just not seeing any evidence that chickenpox was ever removed from any type of list. There used to be 4 million cases of chickenpox annually. That's a lot of people getting chickenpox. And the number of cases went down by 97%. That's a huge
I read
drop.
the same thing you read. And another thing I was looking at was in Florida, just in Florida alone, there was like 56 cases of chickenpox this year, and only 33% of them were from people that were not vaccinated. The other 66% were people with vaccinations.
Yeah, so like there's gonna be people who have breakthrough cases because we have like herd immunity and we have vaccines and that helps create herd immunity. But for all these different things, we don't see them nearly as often because of these different medicines. And I heard people during COVID, and you could say like, well, the COVID vaccine just came out. Like me, for example, I didn't get the COVID vaccine until the first couple waves because I did think it was new. I mean, I don't know much about science, and I waited. And I ended up getting it after I haven't gotten vaccinated for a couple years now, but like I ended up getting it after I saw enough people get it around me, and be completely fine with the vaccine. And our life expectancy in America, since vaccines were introduced 50 years ago, people would live on average of like 50 years, for their life. And now it's an average of like 75, 77. And vaccines are a huge reason for that.
Yes. I will say I haven't had a vaccine since I was in middle school. And that's been 15 years, maybe 14 years, give or take. And I haven't, I'm perfectly healthy. I haven't gotten any, I mean, I get the flu every now and again, you know, just like everybody would. You get the flu, you get over it, you get immunity to it. You know what I mean? Same with the common cold. Same with actually the chicken pox. That's why so many people had it. I've been talking to these old timers, I guess you can call them, who have personal experience in this issue. And what they would do is when one of their children would get sick, they'd call all their other children, all their family over, and they'd be like, "Hey, just let them get it over with. You ain't gonna get it again." Same with
Yeah, I know,
mono.
but I know Amish people who do that, and like half of them die young. Like they die at the age of like 20, sometimes even younger. Like they when they did herd immunity parties like that, I promise that a lot of people died as a result of doing that. Like if you did that to your kid, it would be probably abuse. Like if you force your kid to get sick when there's other options available. I'm just saying, man. Like there's a higher chance your kid dies from.
I'm saying these old timers.
I know, but like, and they're probably dumbasses. But like, there's a good chance that having a gas oven in your living room and having those fumes in your living room is more unhealthy for your kid than like the MMR vaccine. And these are things where it's like you don't need to make them get a flu vaccine every year. They could deal with the flu typically, but there's certain things like measles, rubella, mumps, and like the MMR vaccine, that's just really instrumental for the development of a kid. So even if you just said like, I don't know, you want to protect them from those initial concerns, and then maybe later on you don't care about them getting vaccinated every season. That's really the big one that and if you talk to 99% of doctors recommend it for a reason. These are people that spend 10 years of their life practicing medicine before they're even allowed to talk to a patient, pretty much. 99.9% of them recommend to get like the MMR vaccine combined. And I would just, I don't want to keep on going with this conversation because I'm not an expert on it, but I would just recommend, talking to them. But hey, man, I appreciate the call and the discussion.
All right. Well, have a good night, man.
All right, you have a good one too. Definitely call in again sometime, man.
All right, bye.
I see you. Podcasting is killing America. Swear to God. It's actually just it's genuinely sad that people believe there's like poisonous mercury in vaccines. Because I'm pretty sure they stopped using mercury as a result of people being afraid during an early anti-vaxxer wave when it first came out. And like I said before, there are new vaccines like the COVID vaccine. There's a good chance you wouldn't recommend it for a kid, right? But there's other vaccines that have been around for 60 years that are probably better off, getting. Especially because they've been around for 50 or 60 years and they've been tested very thoroughly. And I definitely, being skeptical is good, but I feel like there's with things like the MMR vaccine, there's just a lot of evidence behind that. That's probably a good thing. And like I said, these same studies you could cite with like complications, the numbers for red meat and gas stoves and all these other pollutants are worse. So I don't know, if you're living an all natural lifestyle and you're like, I'm not going to do any vaccines, I'm not going to do any gas stoves, I'm not going to do any processed foods, I'm not going to Like, I don't know. I'm going to go live off the grid and make my own food by hand every day. Like, if you're doing that, then sure, I respect it. But you can't just, in my opinion, you can't just say, I'm going to just choose not to do the one thing. That's kind of politically charged. But I'm going to go eat McDonald's every day. And I'm going to go huffing gas every day. And I'm going to go, like, chug 87 from the local sheets at Wawa. So I only donate to those who do not censor me. Well, thank you. Please drop a like, comment, and subscribe, everybody. How do I call you? I don't know. How am I supposed to know? No third term for traders. Thank you for $2. Sprig, they had us stand to recite. Sprig, thank you for $5. They had us stand to, and I saw you sent another super chat the other day, Sprig, through the coffee link, and it wasn't playing your message for some reason, and I apologize because I didn't know it wasn't on until I looked at the message and I saw that you said something with the donation. I didn't realize you sent a donation and a message. But thank you for $5. Sprig said they had us stand to recite the Pledge of Allegiance, yet now they're mad. We protest for liberty and justice for all. True. They only care about the $2 from Shaw. Thank you so much for $2. No third term for traders. Get this king a cell. How can any American support extrajudicial murder in the Caribbean? People just don't give a shit anymore, dude. I don't know what to say. Like, people just don't care about violence anymore. They saw They saw cops get their skulls crashed in, smashed in, brutalized on January 6th. I said cocked. I'm done. I'm not saying what I was gonna say anymore. Final caller for tonight, guys. Unless if a big donation comes in on my Cash App or Venmo. Thank you for watching.
Hello.
Hi. What's up?
Who is this?
This is the YouTube channel thing for politics.
Oh.
Why did you call me? Why did you call me? Why? Tell me, why did you call me? Marcus the Worm joke. Oh, I'm sorry. I'll go try to find it. What do you think Trump is doing for allies? Well, Trump threatened Australia because an Australian reporter was asking Trump about his crypto corruption. He said, I'm going to talk to the prime minister and get you fired, to the reporter. So that's really fun. We're spitting in the face of allies. I don't know. America's doing some weird shit, dude. Except Argentina. We're giving money to Argentina. All the time. Let me see if I got this. Stream alerts. It should be on. Stream overlay, test a message, call to action. Can I replay that?
New donation from someone. $3 someone gave you a tip. Sorry, just testing.
Okay, the message worked there. It did work there. But I don't know why it didn't work. I need a better website for donations. This one's not too good. Thank you for $5 again. Say hi to Ranger. Hello, Ranger. On TV admitting to murder. Yeah, I know, but Americans don't have the ability to care, I guess. I don't know. I don't know what to say. Like, I don't know what to say. People just don't care. Their brains are broken by social media. Trump can just say, I'm taking pot shots, I'm killing random civilians in the ocean for fun because I say they're drug dealers, which is also illegal even if they were drug dealers. He can laugh about it. He can brag about killing more people and say they're going to be like not alive. They're going to be like dead. Cops can get their skulls. Wait, whatever. I don't care. I was going to make a TikTok, but I don't care. I don't got the juice right now. I'm not going to lie. I said skulls again, and I'm done. I meant to say skulls, but I said skulls. Instead of skulls, I said skulls. So I gave up. Okay. I'm a giver upper. Hope you guys are doing well. Join Discord, guys. Look at my Instagram, guys. My Instagram's popping off right now for whatever reason.
Yeah, hello.
Hello, this is the YouTube channel. Who am I speaking with?
Yep. Steve.
Hello, Steve. How are you? What do you want to chat about?
I was just listening to your to your podcast, kind of absorbing some information. I think it's important to make the delineation of what the loan to Argentina actually was.
Okay.
Are you familiar with what credit line currency swaps are?
Yeah. Oh, wait 1 second. My computer's lagging. Let me see here.
Let me.
Okay, I think I fixed it. Is my computer lagging, guys, on the stream? Can you? Oh, now I'm opening it. I'm sorry. In the stream, am I clipping it all? Am I moving around in the stream, guys? Can you see me okay? 1 second. Let me see when the chat tells me I'm okay. That's fine. Okay. Yeah, so it's not like we're giving them $40 billion is what you're saying. We're doing a credit line and a swap of currency. But people would say in response to that, and I'll let you explain, but they'll say in response, how can we can randomly find $40 billion for Argentina not approved by Congress. We could just give it to them right now when American farmers are losing all their markets and all that kind of stuff. And we're supporting like Trump's business interest in Argentina.
Right. I mean, it's important to make a delineation in how we're buying the beef as well. If we're buying the beef already butchered, it would be a completely for market is the correct term, opposed to livestock. We're buying livestock. Now, I don't know if they're going to no, I haven't heard any plan on this, and I don't think anybody really knows yet what they plan on buying. It's more of just like a rhetoric talking point saying, oh, they're buying beef from Argentina. He may be distributing it to farmers to increase herd capacity.
I mean, there's no agreement. There's no agreement right now, and the National Ranchers Association has called out Trump, and Trump told them that they're dumb pretty much, and they don't understand it like he does. So like the ranchers called out Trump, and Trump told them that he understands their job better than they do.
I'm not talking about Trump in particular. What I'm talking about is like kind of the facts of the matter.
Yeah, but like, but do you see how that can be weird?
We have to understand how they're buying the beef.
Does that seem American first to tell our ranchers that he understands how to be a rancher better than they do and understands their markets better than they do?
Well, then we're getting lost in the sauce in Trump's rhetoric. Trump says stupid things all the time.
It's not just rhetoric. Trump's trade war is the reason our soybean farmers are dying right now. And by the way, we used to sell those to China. China buys 1/3 of the world's soybeans. Yeah, but it was never this bad. It was never this bad. I'm just saying, wait, buddy. Dude, isn't it bad that we are helping Argentina now with all these bailouts, and our soybean farmers can no longer sell to China, and they're now buying from Argentina. So Argentina's farmers are going to be able to sell to China now with their soybeans. So Trump, how is that America first to give Argentina our entire soybean market to China?
Well, I would say that the Democratic Party aligns with that same agenda.
It did. Okay, I'm sorry. It did not happen under Democrats. It did not happen under Democrats. Okay, the soybean farmers were not attacked under Democrats. Can you respond to my point? Respond to my point. Then don't just say Democrats. Respond about this current policy.
No. I'm not giving you a hand wave to what you're saying. I'm acknowledging what you're saying. What you're trying to do is put me in a corner by saying, how is that America first? Well, people do need to eat. Unfortunately, the price of beef is absurdly high. It's important to make the delineation of how we're buying that beef.
I said the soybeans. I said the exact soybean policy. The soybeans that are going to be rotting now.
Trump has already found alternative partners to buy the soybeans.
Who?
Japan.
You realize that China has like 15 or 20% of the world's population. They buy 1/3 of the world's soybeans. There is no way to make up for that loss of a market. And Japan, the tiny country of Japan versus China with like 1.5 billion people. Like, do you see how that's kind of silly?
Do you know how soybeans are used?
In what ways?
Like, do you know how the soybeans are used?
In China mostly?
Are they buying? Is China buying the market from us to control the market, or are they buying the market from us for just to be kind because they want to buy from U.S. farmers?
Well, they use it for, I assume, oils. They probably use it to feed animals. They use it for food supply as well in China. I mean, they just use a lot of soybeans in China. So when it comes to the markets, American farmers could sell there and not get a buyout from the government.
Okay. So what you're saying is that there's going to be nobody in the world who's going to buy these soybeans off these farmers at the same price.
Currently, no. Currently, I mean, Argentina is now selling to China. We have not found a partner to buy soybeans, and that's why soybean farmers.
That's Brazil that's selling all the soybeans to China. Argentina sold them like a half a crop.
Argentina is still taking a lot of our market from what we were selling to China, and yeah, they can't produce it alone in Argentina. So there's going to be other countries profiting from Trump's mistakes as well. But you realize how in any of the situations, so Trump tells soybean farmers he understands that better. He tells ranchers he understands that better. In what way is America benefiting from any of this when it comes to Argentina, when it comes to China and soybeans or Brazil? Like, how is America benefiting from Trump finger wagging our farmers and giving all this support to Malay in Argentina?
In what way is that benefiting? Give me a second to think here. I would say that it's benefiting Americans if we establish how he's buying the beef. Okay, if he's buying it for livestock and doing an integrated herd policy, that's extremely beneficial for the farmers. They don't know yet. Finger wagging in their face, sure, I'll cede that ground to you. The soybean aspect happened in his first term, and we found alternative buyers for it in the first term at the same rate that China was buying. There's plenty of other countries out there to bring your goods to market to. It's not just China. The point that you're making that China has a large population, therefore we have to sell soybeans to them, is a moot point. There's plenty of markets in the world that will buy these soybeans.
It's the market size and supply chains already made.
Order. Well, hold on. Not only that, but then he did do an executive order to subsidize the farmers to get them through if the beans didn't go to market, which most of them already have. Do you know the price of soybeans right now?
That's not true. But why are we subsidizing our farmers?
Now? We've always subsidized our farmers. It's actually in the Democrat.
No, we're doing it more at the bailout now on
labor.
top of our we do subsidize farmers. Farmers would not be able to survive without American subsidies. But it's about the bailouts without the current markets that Trump got ruined. And by the way, like Trump just said beef. All the reports say beef. There's been no talk at all about livestock. So you're kind of making that up, unless if you have a resource I can go to.
No, I'm
because
saying
I've seen
it's important to make the delineation of how the beef is bought. No,
but if we buy beef from Argentina, there's no indication we'd be buying livestock. That's not even in the conversation anywhere. I mean, maybe you can.
But that's not saying we're buying it for market either. So again, it's important to make that distinction.
But there is no distinction because Trump just said we're buying direct beef. I mean, there is no distinction because there's not much description. But in my opinion, from what Trump said, I mean, you can't trust anything because he's apparently just like a toddler who we can't listen to because he just says things, which is pathetic for a president. But yeah, he just said beef so far. So I mean,
okay, I'm getting the vibe that you really hate Trump, and that's fine, dude. Like, I didn't vote for the guy. I'm just making.
No, I hate how whenever I say Trump did something, people like you just say, "Well, Trump does say things. He has dumb rhetoric."
People like me, I don't got skin in the game like you do. Okay.
I didn't mean to offend you.
Well, I'm being nice and I'm being civil. You know, that's how the
You're so nice and
conversation should go
civil.
on.
You are so nice and civil. I'm so proud of you.
Thank you. I try to be. I mean, I could be an asshole, for clicks and chat rage, but who really cares about that, man? It's important. I just think it's important that we understand the facts before we come to conclusions. Okay? We don't know how he's buying the beef, if he's still going to buy the beef, because Trump's kind of a here today, gone tomorrow kind of guy.
So, like, when it comes to Argentina and finding $40 billion to lend to them, why was it such a big campaign promise that Trump would not be giving money to other countries, even through like Ukraine, for example, cutting off any loans to Ukraine or credit lines or whatever to Ukraine, but we could find $40 billion pretty much overnight to send Argentina, where Scott Bessent, the Treasury Secretary, has business dealings there, and his partners and friends are also tied with with their money in Argentina. And there's a lot of crypto shit
Yes,
going on.
BlackRock
Malay has his own
is
crypto
a
coin.
transnational, international trade organization, international corporation.
Yeah,
They're
but the point
everywhere.
is like the people in
You
Trump's
can't throw a
administration
rock
profiting
into the
from
pond
this.
without hitting BlackRock, basically.
No, it's the people in the Trump administration making the decisions are also making money from this decision to prop up Argentina, which is one reason they're great friends. There's a reason Malay also has his own cryptocurrency. There's a lot of crypto currency managing going on there that people are profiting from as we help support their economy. And I think a lot of people are
there
concerned
any
about
laws in place right now that you would know of that would insinuate that they're doing something illegal?
that. I mean, many forms of corruption can be illegal. I'm still saying it's corruption.
I mean,
there is no.
we've established you suspect malice, right? What specifically are they doing illegally?
No, I'm not saying because crypto. The big thing about crypto is there's a lack of regulation. So it's really good for Trump, for example.
Yes, it's decentralized currency.
When UAE buys $2 billion in Trump coin, and the next day we give them access to our top chips to develop their own AI, with like NVIDIA and a bunch of other manufacturers, and it seems like
that's
it's
the bold
convenient.
accusation you just made right there. You're
We
saying
know for,
that the Trump
yeah.
organization is in basically lockstep with NVIDIA and
Yeah.
taking
They're
essentially what you're saying is
companies up,
bribe
okay.
pay for play. That's what you're
Yeah.
suggesting?
Yeah, if the president of the United States of America is going to have a cryptocurrency where foreign governments like UAE or Saudi Arabia or Qatar can donate billions of dollars to, and they just buy the coins where Trump profits from it. If the president has these different transactions available and we see them make a $2 billion purchase and the next day we give them a huge deal to access our precious chips that they need to do AI and a bunch of other futuristic technologies. Yeah, as long as the president is gonna be doing shady shit like that, I am not giving any benefit whatsoever. He is doing corrupt dealings. There's no reason why we should not be assuming that until they're open about it and they stop doing it.
Evidence to support that he profited off of it.
Yeah, you could see the holdings Trump has in these crypto corporations. Who's Trump's
did he trade specifically? Like,
foreign
can you point
policy
to something
guy?
for me?
What's his name again? Trump's foreign policy guy, Wicker. Wait, what's his name again? What's that one guy's name that he has doing all his foreign policy shit? They're all part of the same.
Foreign policy is under the State Department. That would be Marco Rubio.
No, the guy doing the Israel.
Something Whitner, something like that. I can't remember all of his cabinet.
Witkoff also has a global cryptocurrency financial company. So when he's doing all these dealings with Israel and Qatar and Saudi and UAE and all these different countries, it just so happens when he visits them, there's huge transactions
there are people in the world
as well.
far more intelligent than us who would have already discovered that they're making trade deals on their cryptocurrency in line with the foreign policy of the United States government, right? It should be fairly easy to uncover.
Why does
Somebody
Trump
has to
get
be
billions of
watching.
dollars from cryptocurrency that he's waging as a pawn in our foreign policy? So he can use American foreign policy to make money through his cryptocurrency?
Again, I'm just simply asking if that is the case, and that's what you're pointing to, because I think we're treading more in the realm of conspiracy than we are fact right now. If that is what's happening, even though cryptocurrency is decentralized, buyer data is still public. Okay, you can go look at somebody's wallet.
When there's no other explanation,
you can go look at somebody's crypto wallet.
Yeah, and that's how we know
see
UAE
if those
donated
trades
to
are
it
happening
or
and if
bought
they're in alignment with
cryptocurrencies.
foreign
That's how we know
policy.
that they bought Trump's crypto coin. And also, Chinese billionaires bought Trump's crypto before he gave TikTok the extension on before removing TikTok. They were giving him money directly. Trump had a crypto ball at the White House where he invited the top 100 buyers of his cryptocurrency. He used the White House as a prop to have a dinner with his top crypto investors who gave him billions of dollars. It's actually beyond parody. So like when Trump goes to Qatar and they give him a $400 million jet, and then Trump gets a $6 billion property. Trump gets a $6 billion property. Hey, even if you were right about that, which you're wrong about, Trump still got a $6 billion property in Qatar, And then after that happens, Trump signs an agreement with Qatar, which gives them Article 5 protections under NATO, pretty much the equivalent from America, where if you attack Qatar, that's a personal attack on the sovereignty of America. So we are giving Qatar a bigger security guarantee after they give Trump all these billions of dollars in investments, a bigger security guarantee than we're even willing to talk about with Ukraine. And when he does that, when he does it with Venezuela...
Was that security guarantee tied to the investment that they said they would make in America?
Yeah, there's no other proof on why we would do that.
So
There's no other proof whatsoever.
Outside of the cryptocurrency realm that you're talking about.
No, they bought crypto as well. No, they all
So
do this.
both.
UAE,
So
Saudi
it's
Arabia, and Qatar as well. They all buy the cryptocurrency. They all give Trump a property. Syria gave Trump a property. And Venezuela had to give Trump a property. All these different areas, Saudi Arabia had to give Trump a property. They all need to give Trump a property, and then they get what they want
specific
eventually.
property are you talking about?
Trump hotel developments in all these different countries. Everyone can go Google these different developments. And again, do you think it's an issue for the president to have a cryptocurrency and for foreign adversaries or foreign diplomats or whoever, foreign actors, to be buying that said crypto, and then the very next day, there just happens to be huge, unprecedented deals to give them access to American markets and American chips manufacturing?
If you can point to a specific transaction that aligns with
okay.
that foreign policy...
Again, do you think it's bad for a president to have a crypto coin? Answer that question. Answer that question. Do you think it's bad for a president to have a crypto coin?
Argument, and I'm just trying to stay in the realm of facts, okay?
Do you think it's bad? No, this is not about anything at all.
To a specific
this is not about. No, I'm just saying. No. In general, in general, should the president be able to have stake in crypto or to own cryptocurrency where he profits from it when foreign actors are buying it? Should a president be able to profit from that? Should they?
Well, that actually depends on what we're talking about. I would say yes. I would say yes, he should be able to have his own assets and holdings, just like every other president before him did. Now, some presidents were more honest about it, like Jimmy Carter put all his finances, peanut farm, in the blind trust. Everybody knows that's a famous story. But I just think Trump owns too many assets for it to be put into a blind trust. It would affect how his business is.
It's not about assets, right? He launched a crypto coin when he took office and made money from that crypto coin and used the White House as a pawn to get money in that crypto coin. Like he launched it for, from what we see in his holdings so far, it's in the billions.
It's in the billions. Has he sold that cryptocurrency?
We know his net worth has gone up billions of dollars this year alone.
Okay. Has he sold that cryptocurrency?
I just want people to realize that this caller is
because
arguing.
Insider trading.
This caller is arguing. This caller is arguing it's okay for the president to be able to take bribes through cryptocurrencies.
That's not what I'm arguing.
Yeah, you are. Yeah, you are. You're a shady, slimy.
No. What's deal in fact?
Dishonest person.
Because if
no president should be able to take.
No.
You're the pro-corruption person. You're pro-corruption.
Insider trading. You have had not only to have prior knowledge.
Convicted by who?
You have to have bought and sold the stock to be convicted of insider trading or any other securities for that matter. So if he hasn't sold that, who knows? Maybe Qatar could sell their share of that tomorrow, and then it goes down.
Hold on to it.
There you go.
If they give you billions of dollars,
but if you're making it a moral argument, I would agree with you. No, he probably shouldn't be able to do that.
No, it's not moral. It's about the safety of America.
Demonstrate for me that he in fact did that, and you're not giving me any real factual evidence. It's more of like a Epstein kind of thing.
Okay,
you know,
why
the ghosts are in the walls and the boogeyman's under the bed.
Why else would we give Qatar such high security guarantees?
I do believe that's part of the agreement he made for homeland investment, isn't it?
No, there was no investment made. He had Netanyahu call Qatar and apologize for striking Hamas leaders in Qatar, I'm pretty sure, or trying to. I forget exactly what happened. But yeah, he had Netanyahu call to apologize.
And came back with a deal. What was that?
So we gave Qatar our top military protections over one transaction. I feel like the American military probably has more power to consider than that.
So it's a bilateral trade.
Qatar an air base in America.
What he did was he signed a trade deal. Is that we already have an air base in Qatar.
No, they're giving Qatar an air installation in America, in Idaho.
Qatar is going to invest $243 billion inside the United States. Okay. And also, it looks like more focus on greenfield projects. I don't know what that is. bringing businesses from Qatar here, IT, advanced marketing, and oil and gas.
None of
Pretty
that has
standard
been
foreign.
none of that has been proven. I mean, Trump said that he brought in $18 trillion of investments this year into America.
Yes, that's what the agreements say, but it depends on if that actually actualizes or not.
You realize that's impossible. Like, it's just physically impossible
Well,
for that much money to be coming into America.
that's not what I'm saying. Impossible instantly, yes, but over time, it's very reasonable.
So, like, when we say we give these guarantees to Qatar, that means putting American men and women in the service. It's their responsibility to protect Qatar. Like, if Qatar is ever attacked by someone, I'm just saying that it's a pretty big deal. And the fact that there's even a chance
How
at
do you feel
all.
about our bases on Germany and in all the Nordic countries? Are those okay?
Yeah, we've had a long-standing NATO agreement with them. Yeah, it's been a long-standing partnership, and we've worked with them for a very long time. Qatar
Do
is
you
a
think
literal
it's in the
state
U.S.
sponsor of
interest to
terrorism.
forge new allies?
Qatar is a state sponsor of terrorism, which Trump said as well, and now we're going to be giving them defense. And again, like, we have committed to Qatar
Stop.
more than
I
we
want to
have
address that
NATO.
right quick. Okay, you said Qatar is a state sponsor of terrorism, right?
Trump said that.
Trump said that. Okay,
Yeah,
Qatar.
I guess they
you
changed in
agree with
4
him.
years, though.
For your argument, you were agreeing with him, right?
No, that's not my argument.
Well, what is your argument then? Because you said that Qatar is a state-sponsored terrorism.
I think it's bad that there's even a chance the president could have taken a crypto bribe to sell American foreign policy.
That's your claim. And
Yeah,
when I
it's
asked you
really bad,
directly,
yeah.
do you have any specific evidence to support this claim? You say no.
Yep. I said that.
Okay, it's more of a
well,
ghost in the
there actually
walls,
was a
boogeyman under the
meeting.
bed thing, right?
There was a meeting as well, where a couple days ago, where someone literally walked up to Trump and said, "Hey, can I talk to your son about this deal we're making?" And Trump gave him Eric's phone number. And yeah, I mean, that seems pretty obvious. They want to contact Eric to do a financial deal through the president with Eric. All the stuff they said was happening with Hunter Biden is actually happening now out in the open.
Yeah, but
But like
Biden
much
did, in fact,
higher.
do the things he was accused of. We can't sit there and hand wave that, can we?
I hate people like you.
Why do you hate people like me? I'm being
Because
nice.
Republicans have no. That's the thing, though. Like,
I'm
you
not
can
a
be nice
Republican.
and very dishonest. Yeah. Okay.
I'm not being dishonest. I'm just challenging your arguments. If you want me to agree with you, I could just sit on the phone here and go, yeah. But
No, I just
think
hate
that
how,
bores
like,
you. I think you're smarter than that, and you would like
so
to engage in these and challenge your own.
So
intellect.
Republicans, but that's the thing, though. These aren't discussions on if healthcare works better in this country versus another. This is a discussion on just like primary American values or even anti-corruption values, where it's just like any president.
Well, I want to
if
go
Joe
back to
Biden
talking about, you said Qatar is a state-sponsored terrorism, or Trump said.
Okay. Let's see here. This Instagram is popping off, bro. Holy shit. No, I don't feel like it. I'm sorry. I really don't care. If I'm trying to talk about, like, in a conversation, you usually have like a conversation, and when you have someone say it's not really an issue for Trump to take cryptocurrency payments totaling $2 billion from Middle Eastern dictatorships, and then the very next day we give a huge piece of leverage to them. We give it away, all this chip manufacturing and access to our graphics cards and CPUs and advanced AI technology that they cannot get access to, which is invaluable. Any deal for us to give them that should be huge. And we got basically nothing in return. We got like a fake, vague understanding of like, oh, we might invest money in the future. Nothing guaranteed, nothing real, just like all the other deals. But that's huge to give access to that. And the fact that Trump made billions of dollars right before that in crypto, and someone can tell me that's not a big idea, not a big deal, that person is dishonest. And then they can go around and say, well, Hunter Biden definitely did that. After Republicans in the House investigated Hunter Biden for like 5 years, and they tried to prove this, and they couldn't prove it. So they tried to get Hunter Biden on a gun form question, where he filled out a gun form wrong, which they knew he filled it out wrong because he said he was not using drugs, and in his like memoir or his book or whatever, he said he was using drugs at the time. So therefore, they said he filled out the gun form inappropriately, and then they also got him for tax evasion or something with taxes, which he paid those taxes later on. They could not get him on any of these corruption charges. They gave no proof of any of this. They had to tell conspiracy theories and stories about the big guy, and all this other stuff. And yeah, I mean, the son of a president is going to get favorable conditions. Sure. Like I'm not happy with what Hunter Biden did, but what's happening in the White House right now is like a tiny puddle compared to the entire ocean with what's happening with Trump. So if you want to say like the Trump crypto thing is not a big idea when he's bragging about making money publicly. He himself brags about it publicly. I know you can't really accept anything Trump says as fact. You're not allowed to do that because Trump is a toddler, and toddlers say dumb things sometimes, and he's a goof. He's too stupid to understand him or even listen to him, apparently, but he could be president. If we're going to say him saying openly, okay, I'm going to connect a foreign leader with Eric Trump, and Eric's going to manage all of my crypto enterprises and all of my scams and my cell phone company and all this other stuff. And they're going to funnel money from their crypto wallets in a tune of hundreds of millions of dollars or billions of dollars. It's going to come directly to me. I'm profiting from this openly. We don't even need investigations because they're doing it openly. That guy can say that's not a problem. But definitively, we know Hunter Biden was a bigger problem for sure. After Republicans investigated this forever, could not find literally anything. And again, not defending Hunter Biden, but then the guy says, I'm not really a Republican. It's just really annoying and brain damaging. And it's like CTE to have those conversations. And I know it's not a good look to just hang up on someone, but at some point, my stamina bar is blinking red. And it's just so painful. And yeah, it is crazy. Like, if our farmers, our ranchers are telling Trump, what the hell are you doing? And the guy also made up a story. He made up a story about livestock being traded or sent from Argentina instead of just beef, because that could be there's no talks about that whatsoever. Trump said beef multiple times. Or like American soybean farmers who already need government support usually. Losing access to the biggest soybean market by far, which I'm pretty sure China buys 35% of the world's soybeans, maybe higher. How that's not a big deal at all whatsoever, because Japan might buy some, which I have not even seen that, because they have other partners as well. We've been torching our trade agreements, and in a conversation where you frame it like a debate, it's hard to have it. It's hard to do that, because if you don't have time to lay out all these different things, it's just really frustrating when somebody runs from it or picks certain parts of it when they're being dishonest in it. It's hard to show where they're being dishonest at, where they're being dishonest. And they try to run away from points in the conversation that make them look bad on purpose. Like, he never answered the primary question on how is it America first to send Argentina $40 billion? How is that America first? How is it America first to then flood our markets with Argentinian beef? And then we're giving Argentina our soybean markets. And Scott Bessent has business holdings in Argentina, and he makes money from it. And then he's like, well, I mean, BlackRock has business everywhere. It's like, obviously, I'm talking about the people in the White House making decisions with our taxpayer dollars and our American government, making decisions to financially profit and benefit themselves. Obviously. But he knows he needs to be slimy and lie about it, so he will never reference that point. He'll obfuscate and be like, well, I mean, Blackwater's everywhere. I mean, BlackRock, not Blackwater, but BlackRock's everywhere. I mean, you could, it's just like, never actually reference what I'm talking about directly. But it could be a convincing conversation style, but it's also painful to sit through. I don't get paid enough to do that, which it is what it is. Please drop a like, comment, and subscribe. I just want to give I think it's good to look at those conversations, because usually you want to calm down and keep on asking the primary question you want them to answer, and you force them to answer it. And I came off that point too much, because It's a tactic they use in conversations to throw you off, to make sure you don't pound your point home. So usually you just want to keep on asking the same question, like, hey, please, just like, how is this helping? What's helping? How is America benefiting from literally any of this? Trump just said his biggest primary goal right now is focusing on the White House ballroom. Like his biggest focus of all time right now is the White House ballroom. But we can't even get to that because you could just like conflate a bunch of different narratives and avoid answering the question again. Very purposeful. But we need to go through this and analyze it, because people do this a lot, especially their best propagandists. You know. Thank you for the super chat. $5. Taking notes. Thank you for $5. Ask him if he's gonna suit up and defend Qatar monarchy with his life for greasy orange daddy. But no, he's not a Republican. He just defends every single thing Republicans do and criticizes every single thing Democrats do. But he's not a Republican, dude. He's probably a libertarian. He's probably a libertarian, dude. But yeah, thank you for $5. And yeah, exactly. Like, we're giving them the guarantee of our men and women in the service that we're going to defend them if they're struck. And maybe there is a future where you have like a agreement with a. It's just crazy. It's crazy. Oh. My TikTok live, or wait, my is anybody here from Instagram? Is anybody here who found me on Instagram? That's all I'm curious about. I'm gonna hop off here, guys. I went an hour and a half tonight. I'm working my way back up. Okay. Please consider dropping a donation on Drola Politics for Cash App or Venmo. I'm Drola Politics on Venmo, Cash App, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. Streaming from YouTube Shorts right now. Please go and follow my TikTok if you don't already, and my Instagram. Main platform is YouTube. I've never gotten traction on TikTok for streaming. I have 21,000 followers on TikTok. 21,000 followers, but oh yeah, thank you. 21,000 on TikTok, but no, the viewership for short videos versus live stream is different audiences. But yeah, thank you for joining me. 140 likes. Probably one of our best streams back. George Zimmerman, $2. Cares about kids, fine with puberty blockers. I talk so much about puberty blockers, dude. It's crazy. Trump is trying to cut food assistance from like 500,000 children. And this person is obsessed about the 5 kids in America who talk to a psychiatrist about puberty blockers. Like, it's kind of crazy. Once you care more about attacking trans people, then you care about hungry children. You've lost the plot. You've lost God. You got to find him. Thank you for $2. I'm not even talking about puberty blockers. Calm down. Go talk. Hey, if you want to go talk about puberty blockers, which I'm not even for youngins, for super young kids, go to a different stream, because I don't really talk about puberty blockers at all. I'm not an expert. You should find someone who's well versed on it, and they'll help you out with it. They will help you out with it, I guarantee you. I'm not your boy for that. Oh god. You're from the UK? Your own Trump? Yeah, with the reform. It is funny, one of the big divides on the right wing, and you're in the UK, right? There's the right wing that hates Jews and the right wing that loves Jews. that's an issue with reform too, right? Because that Tommy Robbins Richards, what's his name again? There's that one guy, like the Nigel Farage, I forget their names, but like the right wing everywhere is really split on Jewish people and Israel, because some of them really hate Israel and stuff, and some of them love Israel. Nice. Thank you for $5, Sprig. George's father probably wears dresses now, so he's butthurt about trans people. All right, George. Sprig sent you a message. Thank you for $5, Sprig. Tommy Robinson. It's just really funny. The big ideological divide on the right is about like who they want to be angry against. $5. Thank you, Sri, for the super chat. Thank you, Sri, for thank you for typing out super chat. Thank you so much. I know what it is now. Should I go on Twitch too? Should I stream on Twitch? Wait, one more time. One more time. Did anybody come from Instagram? My Instagram's popping off today. Did anybody come from Instagram? Instagram, by chance? Yeah, no, nationalism is complicated. It's not all Nazis. It's a bunch of different nationalist factors. There were some nationalists on like the left who the national, like the national Bolsheviks or whatever. Like there were some left nationalists. It's complicated. Authoritarians are a whole nother category. That's why they call it like a third position or whatever. They're off the grid. They're off the normal political axis. I would argue that nationalism is one of the greatest evils. Like George Bush said that too. It's like nativism, isolationism, and isolation. Wait, George Bush. Nativism, protectionism, and isolationism. George Bush said it was bad. But yeah, those things and nationalism are bad. Like the biggest issues we have are probably from those tribalistic mentalities. Trump is a national socialist, maybe. All right, guys, join Discord. We have groups talking in there usually most nights. Now, make sure you're nice in the Discord, guys. People want to talk. Let other people talk. Be polite. I hear people steamrolling each other in Discord conversations often. I want to make sure everybody has a chance to talk. If you need more community chats, let me know. I'll make more community chats because I don't want you guys to. Some people are very intense in their conversations, a little autistic, so they don't understand the social cues that much. So like, definitely be nice. Let people talk. Have a good time in the Discord. Chill out. Barron shorted Bitcoin based on insider information. Yeah, but who cares? I mean, Hunter Biden, dude. Think about it. Hunter Biden, bad. Duh. Who cares about the facts, dude? Conservatives have this really, really powerful tool they can use too, where they just like, they lie. They lie about things. It's really powerful. It is powerful. It's like, no, he didn't. Give me proof. Kakistocracy. All right, guys. Here's the Discord link. My Discord is in the description as well. You can find links to donate in the description. Like I said, Joel Up Politics on Cash App or Venmo. I got messages on there too. Send a little message. Can you guys see on the stream right now on the very top of here, like the very top? Can you see where it says streaming on YouTube Shorts? Can you see where it says that? Because I wanted to say that pretty prominently, so people know that's my primary platform. Can you guys see that up there? It's across like the blue banner. I know iPhones. Tell me if you're on iPhone if it cuts it off, because the iPhone has that one dynamic island thing. Is anybody on an iPhone that's blocking it? Should I bring it down a little bit? iPhone, yeah, it's on. It's tiny on iPhone. So maybe move it down and make it bigger. You can't see it. You're on Android. No, it doesn't. How high up can you see? How high up can you see? Can you see to the top of Trump is trash? It's not prominent. Can you read my at good, like Joel Up Politics? You can read Trump is trash, I assume. But can you read Joel Up Politics? YouTube logo is slightly cut off up to the top. Okay. Yes, but no. Does Joel Up Politics need to be bigger too? So that at right there, where it says Joel Up Politics right there, you can't read that, is what you're saying on the phone. You can't read that. Let me look on my phone. I'll look at my own stream really quick. iPhone SE. I guess that would be an issue with the new iPhones where... Wait, I can see it good on phone. I can see Joel Up Politics good on phone. You guys must have different phones then, because I can see it pretty good on... I can see all three things pretty good. It's not really cut off on my phone. No audio? Flint, your computer's muted. Flint, your computer's muted. They're not messing with me. Can you see that right there? Can you see the Joel Up Politics? Okay, so the iPhone bar thing is the only thing we have to worry about. Yeah, that makes sense. Because if the iPhone's gonna zoom in to the full screen, I'll probably cover that up. Because I make it smaller on purpose to fit the other stuff. Okay, so I'll fix it. I see what you mean. I'll move that down a little bit, make the YouTube Shorts a little bit bigger. I don't need to be prominent. Yeah, I'll just move them down more. Sprig. Here. I'll show you on the screen. You guys have a good night. I'm going to bed. But this is what people want me to play. This is what they want me to play on the stream, guys. They're internet people. They are internet people, and it's disgusting. This is what Antifa does, dude. That's a good beat, though. Good beat, though. Good beat. Jesus. Okay, guys. Thank you for watching. Thank you for $2, Sprig. But yeah, there you go. All right, guys. Have a good night. You can call in tomorrow. I'll be on tomorrow around 10 p.m. 10:15, 10:30. You know. Thank you for watching. Join Discord. Join Discord. Thank you guys for watching the stream. Thank you for being here for the stream. There is no stream without you. If you weren't here, I would not be streaming. But thank you guys so much. 1984 of it all. 1984, true. I wish people knew 1984 was written by a democratic socialist. It would probably throw their brains would probably go crazy. 1984 was written by a democratic socialist. Who would have thought? The book conservatives love to cite when talking about liberals, but they would never cite in reference to themselves. Nice. Thank you for $2. $3 Canadian. Barry, thank you. I'm leaving. Stop donating. I'm leaving, guys. Thank you so much, Barry. Barry Ross. Now I'm going to be going to bed, so I do appreciate that. Join Discord, guys. I hop in Discord randomly. Thank you so much. I hop in Discord randomly. Go follow me on TikTok and Instagram. Hop in Discord. Thank you for the like. Thank you for the like. Also, guys, I have a Patreon. If you ever want to support the channel monthly, the Patreon is the best way to do it. There's a $3 supporter tier. There's a tier 1, $6. If you can, support the channel, $6 a month. It's like 1/3 of a Netflix subscription now with how expensive it is. Definitely the best place to donate is on Patreon. Really useful to have recurring support, so I know monthly like what my support level is. Or YouTube channel memberships work good too if you want a green name in chat on YouTube. I will say Patreon is better for donating if you just want to donate, but if you want the green color too, definitely do YouTube. But yeah, it's all in my channel description and everything should be in my video descriptions, okay guys? But yeah, have a good night. Thank you for watching. I hope you guys have a great night. All right, see you guys. Thank you.